Well, this is something that I didn't see coming. Logan Paul actually ended up responding to the whole Crypto Zoo drama, and he ended up saying that he is actually going to give back a refund. Now, shocking to absolutely no one, his response and the refund is really bad, but I'm surprised that he actually decided to do it because I really thought that he was just going to pretend that this whole drama just never happened. He was never going to refund anyone, and he was just going to hope that everyone on the internet was just going to forget about this whole thing, like how they just forget about every single drama. But no, I guess Crypto Zoo was just way too big, too much people were talking about it, and he couldn't just ignore it. He actually had to go and do something. Now again, his whole response is absolutely terrible, and the second it got posted, people were happy at first. They were like, wow, this is really good, a very rare Logan Paul win. Then when they actually started reading the response that I ended up posting on Twitter, we all learned that this is just absolutely terrible, and it's just classic Logan Paul just doing the bare minimum, and also trying to run away from taking any responsibility just so he could go and save his reputation. And just like every single time this guy gets into some drama, it's probably going to work. I mean, even though this response is terrible, his fan base is absolutely eating it up. It's saying that it's really good. So Logan Paul basically won, and there's not really anything we can do about it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about how terrible this response is. So let's look at the whole response and then also what people ended up finding. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm only going to go through the most important parts, and that is really the first part of the response and then the whole last part. Because the whole middle section is just fluff that doesn't really matter. So basically the first part of the response is him saying that he's going to put in a lot of money into Crypto Zoo so he could basically pay back all the people who still own eggs. Now, this is where the first problem come, because this payback is only for people who still actually have NFTs, and that is really bad because there is a lot of people who just panic sold. Because obviously when Crypto Zoo first released, everyone learned that it was a scam. There was a lot of people who put their money into the project and they were holding eggs. They just completely sold so they could try to get some money. Even though I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't enough, they're just trying to make as much as possible. So it seems like if you're one of those people, you are just completely out, suck to suck. And the most important thing that people ended up figuring out, if you actually click on the link that he ended up posting on the beginning section of the tweet and sign the thing that he wants you to, you basically agree not to sue Logan Paul, which is something really interesting. Now, this ended up getting figured out by attorney Tom. This is someone who's actually currently suing Logan Paul right now. He ended up coming together with a lot of the victims of Crypto Zoo and he decided to make a class action lawsuit to hopefully resolve something. And obviously when he ended up making this post, he decided to look into it and he ended up discovering this.
This is important because if you decide to do the buyback, there are terms and conditions in that buyback. And I'm going to read you these terms and conditions. It says, by accepting these terms, you acknowledge and agree that you are waiving any actual or anticipated claims against Paul, as well as against any related personal affiliates, agents, partners, employees, service providers, or representatives for monetary or equitable relief arising out of or in connection with CryptoZoo, including but not limited to this buyback, your purchase of any Zoo tokens, or purchase of any CryptoZoo NFTs. So he's saying this is only a buyback for the NFTs at their mint price, at a lower price of Ethereum today than it was when you bought it, but you're also waiving your rights to pursue Zoo token. And that is pretty ironic because...
So yeah, that is absolutely crazy. So you can go and get your money back, but then you can't do anything legally against Logan Paul, which is just so on brand. This is something that Logan Paul would do. Logan Paul is really trying to stop people from double dipping, because that is probably the reason why he's doing this. Because if the lawsuit that he's currently in actually wins, I mean, that's not going to be looking good for him at all. So he probably doesn't want people who actually gets the refund tries to join that and make that whole situation even worse. Because I'm pretty sure he's taken a lot of time trying to deal with that whole thing in the background, while he's also trying to give people their little crumbs and call it a refund. But that is just absolutely crazy. I'll give you your money back, But that's all you're getting. You're not getting anything else from me. You better not try to do any funny business. Then after this, it's the middle section of the apology, which is just completely fluff. Let's just go past that. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I should mention what he's bringing up. So basically, Logan Paul continues his whole place of saying that CryptoZoo isn't my fault and I am just a victim to a bunch of bad actors. Remember all of the bad actors that he ended up hiring, all of the people that everyone knew was completely scummy and knew that you should not be doing business with them at all, but he still went out of his way to hire them. He's still going on the whole mindset like, yeah, this isn't my fault, it's all of these bad people's fault, and I'm gonna go and file a lawsuit against them so we can get some justice and so I can put them in their place. Man, this drama has so much lawsuits going on, but I just think it's still funny that that's the whole mindset he's trying to go with. Like, hey guys, even though I started CryptoZoo, hired these people, it's still not my fault. It's just a big mistake. And then after that, we have the last two statements. One of them is saying that CryptoZoo, the game, is just never going to come out. Wow, who would have saw that coming? He ended up saying this whole sob story, like how he ended up putting $400,000 into making the game, which is absolutely nothing for Logan Paul, the man who owns Prime Energy and is also in the WWE. That is just chump change for him, but I think it's funny that he's just acting like this is an extremely big deal. Like, look how generous I am. I put so much money into this project, but unfortunately, it just can't come out. Who would have saw that coming? Even though that was part of the promise he ended up making in his second response video, the one when he ended up thanking CoffeeZilla, one of his goals was to actually finish the game, but I guess that's never happening. Then after this, he ended up saying a completely wild statement, which is basically just victim blaming.
He basically victim blames. He says, this buyback is not intended to compensate those who gambled on the crypto market and lost, referring to the Zoo token. It's important to remember that Zoo token was created to support the CryptoZoo game and its players and was not intended as an investment vehicle. Mind you, Zoo token, the founders assigned themselves billions of these Zoo tokens. They attempted to pay service providers, developers in Zoo tokens, allegedly. Allegedly, they bought Zoo token at an artificially low price because they stealth launched it, meaning they stealth launched the game to themselves, but not the public, so they could buy it up at a low price. They sure acted, in my opinion, like Zoo token was an investment vehicle. Zoo token, there was billions of dollars in trading volume in Zoo token, yet for their NFT buyback, they have no problem getting people to waive their claims for Zoo token. It's just so disheartening.
And I just think that is an absolute crazy statement to say, because you're basically going up to all the people who trusted you, put their money inside a CryptoZoo, and just saying, hey man, it's not my fault you made an extremely bad L decision, you know, that sucks to sucks, and you gambled with crypto and you lost. It also doesn't help that Logan Paul has spent so much time on his podcast basically just sitting down and talking about CryptoZoo, acting like it's going to be the best thing to ever exist and it's going to completely change the gaming space. I mean, there are clips all over the internet of him literally talking about that. Now, I don't know if he went and deleted all the podcasts of him talking about CryptoZoo. I didn't go and check, but I wouldn't really be surprised if he did decide to do that, but I don't know. But if he did, you could go on like CoffeeZilla video, or maybe someone like Moist Critical talking about it, or basically just anyone who decided to go and talk about this situation, and they probably have a clip of like Logan Paul talking about CryptoZoo and like marketing it to people. So it's extremely weird that this is the statement you make. And that is basically the whole refund drama. And man, is that not really that good, especially the first part, where if you actually want to go and get your money back, you straight up just can't join the lawsuit at all that Logan Paul is currently in. But this isn't really that surprising. I mean, what did we generally expect? Anyway, that's it. My name is Lua. This is just something that I want to talk about. You have a good day or night. See ya.